this front, but we need them on this front. That's the problem. Every single one of our armies are necessary right now. What I can do is this. Since this is extremely, extremely necessary, I think we can all agree on that. I'm going to try to get these guys to fall back. Honestly, I don't think it's going to go very well, though. Berlin is about to fall, and Dressler, I think, is about to be finished. At least we would have finally finished in Hearts of Iron 4 series for real, which is something we haven't done in ages. Catholic churches suspected of assisting French occupiers. We'll say the church can't be trusted. And yeah, we want to focus. No, we don't want to do that because we'll get rid of our fighter ace initiative. So let me just keep focusing on naval strike torpedo tactics, which you don't really need, but what the hell. Come on, boys. Get on that front. Of course, this is awful because it's going to let these Soviets push through and trap a bunch of our armies. This could be the fall of the Volksreich. I will say that. I'm trying to break out. This is like the German army trapped at Stalingrad, except we're trapped in Policy. So imagine Stalingrad, only this would be called Policy, the entrapment at Policy. Break out, men! So yeah, the enemy's right on the outskirts of Berlin. We've done everything we can, of course. We'll take a look here at the war casualties so far. 1.64 million in the entire League of Nations. 664,000 of those are our casualties. If we look at the Kingdom of Italy, they've lost 191,000. If we look at the French Republic, they've lost 390,000. 671,000 on the Soviet SSR, not including the Ukrainian SSR and the Belarusian SSR, which have both lost record numbers of men. But is that going to save us? I don't know. We're holding around Berlin, the last stronghold for the Valkists at this point. We could try to push through to Prague, but I think right now it's more important to get on that line and just try and hold this position. I'm actually going to break through over here. The Deutsches Reich is not looking good, mein Freunds. A lot of Germans are going to be in camps right now. No pun intended. I mean, there are still areas here where we're routing the enemy. The problem is they're just so numerous. Yeah, infantry equipment, I guess we'll focus on that. But I think the war is slowly ending and Dressler's state is falling apart around him. The Dutch can't seem to come to our aid quickly enough. And in fact, the French seem to be pushing through to the Dutch capital of Amsterdam here. Berlin is right there. They will be in Berlin. For the love of God, don't let them take Berlin. They've taken Berlin! Got to stop that. You can see a lot of our allies coming over to assist, but I don't think there's any chance. There's really no time. Have some of these guys fall back, of course, to the city itself. It's been a valiant fight for the Valkists, get it? A Valkian fight, I should say. But it is what it is, my friends. Alright, Berlin is back in our control. That's the good news. Bad news, this is still going to be really, really hard. But of course, what we're going to try to do is just hold on as long as we can. Just like the Nazi state, we're going to try to hold on as long as possible. In this one, Dressler did not shoot himself. He decided to keep fighting, and probably a good idea because they did take Berlin back, and hopefully we're getting a lot more reinforcements. The UK's on our side, but they don't seem to be sending any reinforcements at all. Start Lend-Lease, request Lend-Lease. This isn't going to really matter. I mean, what we need are, actual volunteers. So maybe if we give control of... This is a really weird thing. I don't know if I've ever tried this. But But what if we give them control of this province here in Schleswig? Could they then land troops there and help us? I don't know. I don't know. Been some horrific battles, of course. And of course, Warsaw has been retaken. A lot of these Polish cities retaken with this massive Soviet encirclement. That's what happens when you take your units off the line. I mean, we had no real choice. We had to take them off the line to stop the Italians from taking Berlin. But it's put us in a very tough position, in a very tough situation, as you can imagine. We're fighting for the very existence of the Reich. Anytime now, England, you can drop, like, wherever you want. Looks like the Romanians are also falling very quickly. Good to see everybody, by the way. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and checking out the actual schedule. Try to do the schedule a bit earlier in the future. Alright, stability is not low, but it's lower than usual, and that's because of this massive war going on right now. Let's do some war propaganda for our people against the French Republic. We're going to fall back here. Here we go. So we know this area is going to be cut off, so this is the best we can do. Let's try to hold East Prussia. Basically hold just the northern part of Germany, including still pieces of Poland. But I think this is the best way to avoid encirclement, at least for the Northern Army. We're giving them permission to retreat. And that's certainly something Hitler never would have done, that Dressler is doing. Berlin ist Deutschland. Deutschland ist Berlin. Of course, there would be those sad radio messages, in this case, just like the ones they left for the German troops in Stalingrad, or the German troops that fell in Stalingrad, because we lost. And we're going to lose 2 or 3 armies over there just due to encirclement. But it's hilarious because you can see the green, like it's taking forever for the Soviets to break through. And because of that, they're losing so many men. Look at that, 808,000 casualties. Baltic SSR, 32,000, 133,000, 133,000 over here. They're losing a lot of guys. We're up to 796,000. But we've caused total 815,000 casualties on the Entente side and 2.23 million on our side. Yeah, I think we need to increase those casualty numbers on the enemy side a little bit more. It's pretty good, but it's not great, and let's face it, we're losing either way. Okay, so the Slovenians have capitulated. Whereas the Slovakians, we'll find out. We held out to the bitter end, my friends. All we wanted to do was stop Bolshevism. We're innocent of all war crimes. Not really. Let's see, unless we can really cut through here and get a crazy cut through. Highly doubt it, but we'll try. See, finally the Swedish decided to send troops. They should have been sending troops long ago. Another group of our units that are totally cut off from the rest. And they have taken the German city of Magdeburg. So really all we have is Berlin. Okay, air doctrine. Let's see if we can do anything here to increase the fanaticism of our people, and I don't think there's much. In the off chance we actually get to use them. Here we go, guys. The noose tightens around us. And the rubber trade with the UK was terminated. I think they pretty much see that we are going down. So late April, it looks like 1942 might be the date of the fall of the Volksreich. In this case, interestingly enough, the Kingdom of Italy would be taking over Berlin and all those cities, and the Soviets would just be getting, it looks like, just this area right here. Parts of Poland, but really, for the most part, Italy's going to be in control. And we might as well get to know our captors, or our destroyers, however you want to put it. So let's take a look here at the Italian state, and this is led actually by Umberto II, the king of Italy. So it's a constitutional monarchy. I guess the people will get their democracy and they'll be happy with all that. But considering we are heavily Volkist, and I mean heavily Volkist, I think that they're going to have to do a de-Volkification job here, a major one. But I think that this is definitely the end. So they have taken Berlin. No, not yet. They're holding out in Berlin to the very end here. We'll take a look at the casualties one more time, guys. 896,000. 1.40 million on our side. Unbelievable. We have cost the Soviets 1.16 million. Pretty nice. And 896,000 for the Entente. So we've still done a tremendous amount of damage, but not nearly enough as we should be doing. And incredibly, the British have lost 187,000. I haven't seen them involved in any warfare. Must have been on the African front where we really weren't paying attention. And we're definitely not the end of the international, the League of Nations. They can keep fighting on, but I would guess they're probably not going to. Look at that, Berlin is still under our control. It's going to take them a while, so we're actually in early May, and they still haven't taken Berlin. Hamburg is also holding out. No, Hamburg is not holding out. All right, so the Kingdom of Romania has capitulated to the Soviets. I want to see if it's just GG, end of game, or if we end up having like a democracy forced on us. It'd be really interesting to see kind of what the post-war is here. Whether they even let us keep anything. It's amazing that the units here are still fighting on, mostly units from Army 1 here and from the Aneb Army. Now they call Italy as our enemy. They've already been our enemy. What the hell? So just the battle for Berlin alone is causing tremendous casualties on the enemy side. About 100,000 since we last looked. Just trying to take this city. Dutch state. Wow, the Dutch state has capitulated too. So one of our most fervent allies in this war has gone ahead and given up. That's really disappointing. Yeah, they're going to have to bring like an absolute doomstack here to defeat our men, I think. Don't give up, men! Drexler's still in his bunker. Still trying to hold on to the very last. Hungarian administration has capitulated. I'm trying to see if we have any allies left, and we don't. They are done, except for the United Kingdom and Ireland, which are perfectly, safe. No issues whatsoever there for them. Lucky little bastards. We just lost another army. I mean, that's got to really put our remaining soldiers' morale down on the dumps. And essentially just Berlin and a tiny northern part here remain, enclaves of Volkism. The rest is completely liberated, but the war is not over. June 1942, I didn't think we'd make it this long, but they have finally now begun to press directly on Berlin. That's all we have left. So far, 2 million dead on the Deutsches Reich side. Definitely not as many casualties as World War II, as far as I can tell. But we finally got the Entente to 1.04 million, which is great. 281,000 dead on the Italian side and 587,000 dead on the French side. They definitely put up a hell of a fight. They certainly wanted to beat us, and they succeeded, at least in driving us out. They still have to deal with the British, but I think that's the end for Dressler's men here. He refuses to leave Berlin. There we go. And the Deutsches Reich has capitulated. Interesting. So, Adam Dressler has announced that the Deutsche nation can no longer withstand the pressure. Apparently, he has not shot himself, unlike Hitler. Not been charged with war crimes either. There's not really much we can do at this point. I think now the war has to end against the British before we find out exactly what our fate is, if I'm not mistaken. At this point, we might even be in England, in exile, essentially, trying to restart the glorious, future we had in Germany that, of course, now has been dashed on the rocks. We can sort of feel good in the sense that at least the Soviets didn't really get much of Germany at all. They primarily just got Poland, and so this will be under sort of a democratic constitutional control. Probably the best thing for us, honestly. And I think we have maybe a few holdings still. Let me see. We might have like one colonial holding. No. Still, that was interesting. I think we could probably call this one the end of the series, guys. But if you want, I will try to upload a final video where I show you guys what happens to the Deutsches Reich at the end of the war. That being said, I don't anticipate this war will end very soon. Yeah, we're losing, but the British are still fighting, and while they have an island, completely cut off by water from the rest of Europe, I don't really see them losing easily. And as you can see, we still have ships here that are part of the war. So our Navy fights on, and Dressler is probably right now in London sipping some tea and eating some strudel with maybe the British Prime Minister or maybe the King himself. They do seem to like us quite a lot. So I don't know where did we go from here, but one thing is for sure, the Valka state as an entity has been wiped out. Probably a lot of our main guys killed, and I think only a few managed to run away to the UK, and that is where we stand right now. I want to thank everybody who stopped by on Twitch. If you guys are watching me on YouTube, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to me on Twitch. And if you guys are here on Twitch and have just joined, make sure to subscribe to me on Twitch and on YouTube by clicking the little Civil War picture down below. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and check us out on Discord as well.